How's it going, folks? Rob here. Welcome back to the channel, back on Horizon 6 today to check out the new car you can get through the Forza Festival playlist for 60 points over the course of the couple of weeks. We just got, well, I got my hands on arguably the greatest, well, at least one of the coolest looking concept cars ever made, the 2008 Mazda Furai. I am probably pronouncing that wrong. I don't really care, but just absolutely stunning thing. Just look at it. Now, we all know the story. It's kind of infamous in a way. This was made in 2008. It was Mazda did a bunch of testing on tracks like Laguna Seca in America. It was running as a real car, not a proper concept car, but it was actually going to be run on the racetrack like a real thing. They did some testing in the UK at the Top Gear test track with the Top Gear magazine. Sadly, it overheated and caught fire. I don't know the full story. I know there was flames shooting out the exhaust. I'm not too sure. It overheated and sadly lost the car. There was only one of them ever made. The driver got out safely, which is great, but we lost one of the coolest looking cars ever made. And sadly, Mazda never ever made it again. I don't know the story on how Playground Games and Turntown get a hold of this car in game. I'm assuming Mazda has some models back in the day and they kept it and they were able to recreate it, but as far as I'm aware, Mazda's never rebuilt this car. So the fact that they were able to make it in game this well and this well detailed is truly an incredible thing. And I just want to personally thank him because this was one of my favorite cars from the mid 2000s and it was truly heartbreaking when it did catch fire. What a loss it was, but we get it here in all its digital glory. Last time I drove this in the game was all the way back in Forza Motorsport 3 days, the glory days of motorsport games. So this is not just your regular concept car, this is actually a real ready to go race car. It's built off an LMP chassis, it's got racing suspension, racing brakes. The suspension was tuned down a little bit by Mazda, so it's a little bit more forgiving than a regular hardcore endurance racing car. Awesome seating game. One thing I wasn't expecting was it to be fully detailed like engine bay as well. I'll show that off in just a second because there was no car to scan it off, but there it is. How they scanned and detailed all this is just truly amazing. That is a 2-litre 3-rotor naturally aspirated rotor engine. The R20B Renaissance put out 458 horsepower, a little under the 400 horsepower torque, but most rotor engines aren't very torquey, but it is a high revving engine up to about 9,000 RPM. Doesn't sound like a lot of horsepower, 458, but this thing only weighs 675 kilograms. That is an incredible power to weight ratio. And once you see it out in the track in a little bit, you'll understand this thing could be a leaderboard destroyer. The right tuner gets onto it. But my favorite thing about the car is those brake lights. So unique. It is a pretty cool stripped out car, but I love the overall look of this thing. Yeah, like I said, the lighting system is just the best, but it looks the best at night. That looks so cool. It's so over the top, but I just never seen any car ever have a lighting system like this. That just looks like a spaceship. So evil. This was 2008 and we've never seen anything look like this since. Mazda just had lightning in a bottle and it's just so sad we never ever got this thing properly built. It would have been so cool to see these things running on the racetrack. But we've got it here in Japan, so let's see what it can do. 150 k's down to zero, high-speed braking test, carbon ceramic brakes in a car that weighs nothing, heaps of aero, braking like I've never seen anything in this game, 24 meters from 150 k's to zero. That is quite impressive, and I can't imagine any car beating that anytime soon. So let's see what it's like down the drag strip. Rear-wheel drive, 458 horsepower, lots of little bit of throttle control because it will spin a bit, but this thing, high revving engine, sounds absolutely amazing. This thing almost reaches its top speed down here. This thing accelerates like it's very, very angry. Down here, across the line, 17.5. That is pretty damn quick for a rear-wheel drive car with under 500 horsepower. Truly amazing. Top speed, however, with all the aero limited to about 306. Still a pretty quick, but like I said, it gets there very, very fast. So to find out what it's like around a test track, what it's like to drive, I brought it into my test track, gave it about 10 laps around here. I did a few races on different events around the map as well. On the regular Japan circuits, this thing grips like crazy. There's amazing brakes. You can brake so late. It has really, really good turn in. Around my test track, I'm not going to lie, I struggled a little bit at the start. It can get a bit twitchy. Then my track's a little bit more technical compared to the regular events you get on the race. on the Japan map, but the braking is in first class. You can't compare it to anything else. The acceleration is brutal. We've seen that. Twitchy is the easiest way to describe this thing, especially in first gear, because it's a naturally aspirated rotor engine. You've got instant power. This is one of those cars where throttle control, gentle throttle control, whether you're using a controller or a steering wheel, gentle inputs is what you need to get the most out of this car. You can't be pushing down too hard on that throttle. You've got to be easing it out of the corner because it will spin. It can get a little bit twitchy, especially with the steering as well. The other thing I was getting, especially through the slalom back there, is a little bit of understeer, especially in the exit of some of the corners. That is not so much a wheel thing, front wheels. To me, it feels like aero. I think a little bit of adjustment with the aero will completely solve that problem. I just think it needs a little bit more downforce to push the car down. But overall, it's just an awesome car and it sounds great. Can't believe we've got it. But after 10 laps around my test track, it was the first car to break the 140 barrier, 138.1. This thing is an absolute beast around there. Like I said, a little bit twitchy. The front aero needs a bit of adjustment to solve a little bit of the downforce problem when you're constantly shifting through the slalom. So you're not really going to have to worry about that for your main events on Horizon 6. But it is just such a cool car. So cool that we got it into this game. It's already in my favorites list. I'm going to be driving the heck out of this the next week or so. Absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to start taking it around some of the time attacks and tune it up. I got a feeling this could potentially be one of the cars to set some really, really quick times on the rivals as well. Being so light and agile with the acceleration, I think the really good tuners are going to go to town on this one. Keep that and definitely be checking that out, but it's just an awesome looking thing. I wish we'd make cars like this again. What a gift for Mazda to actually make one of these again on the road. Anyway, I'm Rob. Cheers for watching. See you in the next one.